I don't think people believe you, so let's pick a leaf out of here and you eat that. Will you really eat those leaves? Pretty good? Well, what's up guys? This is Daniel in Houston from Arms Family Homestead, and we are out in the greenhouse today, but today's video is not really about the greenhouse. We're actually going to be doing a little patio gardening today. A company called Green Stalk Planters sent us a couple vertical planters. We've been testing them out on the patio and all is going well. So you guys know we do all kinds of different styles of gardening. Just in the high tunnel alone, we've got raised beds here, we've got the self-wicking tubs, we've got the barrels in the back that we did hydroponic cucumbers. And one of my goals as a YouTube creator and a gardener is to do experiments to show you guys other ways of gardening, because here's the thing, we all don't have all of this space to grow a huge garden, and this just isn't for everyone. So a lot of you guys live in apartments and small houses and have patios and things, so I thought, well, yes, this green stalk planter isn't something that I typically would have done. It's not a style of garden that I would typically do, but when they reached out to us, I thought, you know, it's probably a pretty good idea just to do an experiment for some of our subscribers. So Houston, let's head up to the patio and check this stuff out. So the folks with Green Stalk Planters sent us these vertical planters. I've got another one that's still in the box. We're gonna unbox it, put it together, show you how it works. They just wanted to know if we would test it out for them, give them an honest review, and let you guys see our results. So this planter has been planted for several weeks now. We've got all kinds of stuff growing here, lots of greens. So my wife and I juice a ton. So this is kind of our little green tower. We've got spinach, Swiss chard, there's some bok choy, Houston's got a mint plant, there's some cilantro that's really doing well. I put a few beets in just for the beet greens because we juice them. We've got some strawberries. So let's get the other one out, unbox it, fill it up, show you how we plant them.
I'll go throw this in the fire.
So before we start assembling this, I just want to say this is a vertical planter that's meant to maximize vertical space if you don't have a lot of bed space. It's also self-watering. I've got some trash in here right now because of the trees. It's a pretty neat design. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll put a couple tiers together. These things just interlock, they alternate, and this is the 5-tier planter that they sent us. I believe you can get a 3-tier and a 4-tier, and the ashes are not included in the sale unless Houston's there. So it all comes all nice and compact. These little watering discs go in between each tray, and as you can see, they have holes drilled in them, and each layer is self-watering all the way down. Do you really have to sweep right now while we're videoing?
I kind of have to, Dad.
Why?
There's ashes.
Those ashes aren't hurting anything. Get back, Bella. Get back. So as you add each layer, you put a watering disc on and then just alternate, and they just lock together just like that. But before we get too far, I'm going to add some water, show you kind of how this thing works, and then we'll take these down to the garden and fill them up with potting mix before we completely compile it all together. All right, Houston, we've just got 3 layers set up, so we're going to give you a quick walkthrough. Now, depending on the size of your green stalk planter, it's got marks in here, so this would be if you had a 3-tier, a 4-tier, or a 5-tier. It kind of gives you an idea of how far to fill it up. So, buddy, add some water.
Let's do this. Whoa.
Just turn it on all the way. There you go. So as the top reservoir fills up, the water runs down into the lower reservoirs, and each layer gets its own drip. So we took the top off, and here's what would happen. Your next layer, the tray fills up with water, and then it just drips water into your soil. Hey, why don't we bring the tub to the soil.
It's not what I'm doing.
Okay.
Easier like this.
Is it?
For me, it is.
All right.
Right to the brim. We'll handle this.
So we're filling our tubs with a good quality potting mix. We bought this in bulk from a good friend of ours that runs a nursery, but it's just a good light fluffy potting mix. And then we're going to be adding a little fertilizer to the top of each one. The fertilizer that I'm using right now is called Sustain. It's a 464, kind of a slow release organic fertilizer. So probably going to put 1/4 cup or so in each layer, just to get these plants off to a really good start. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of evaporated sea salt. It's a mineral, adds a lot of good micronutrients and minerals to the soil, because when we're working with just a potting mix, it's kind of a, I'm not gonna say it's sterile, but it doesn't have a lot of nutrients and things in it. So this evaporated sea mineral will give them a lot of nutrients and minerals.
That other one, we're skipping one.
Did I forget one?
Yeah.
Well, you left it on the ground.
Well, I'm not as strong.
All right, buddy. Hey, you think you can incorporate all this stuff into the soil for me? Start mixing it in a little bit. Just mix it in real good.
Okay, now we made it back. We have had a campfire. And so here's our hydroponics that we have on our pots. Got a fire going. My dad's fixing it. What are you having for supper?
Meatballs and garlic parmesan, potatoes, and asparagus.
So we got all of our pots filled with potting mix, got fertilizer added, so it's time to get them started stacking. Now, one thing before we get too far into this, I did request the wheel kit. You can add this on. This is an additional add-on that allows you to be able to roll this around on your patio, and it came in very handy a few nights this past week when we got down in the low 30s and had a frost. I was able to take that whole planter and just roll it around under our covered porch, and protected everything from the frost.
Please don't ask what I just put in my mouth. Don't ask in the comments either. It's a kind that my dad grew, and if you eat this thing right here, that thing will taste like fruit.
Alrighty, completely assembled, wheels installed, ready to plant. Look at it, rolling around on its own. Come back here, buddy, you're not alive yet. So there's a couple different ways you could go about planting this. You could plant each layer as you come up. So start at the bottom, go ahead and put your plants in, then put your next layer on, and work your way up. But I just kind of find it easier. Go ahead, assemble the whole thing, and then put the plants in, and then we'll water it really, really well the first time. Alrighty, Houston, what all are we going to be planting in this thing today?
Today we are going to be planting strawberries and different other stuff. I don't know the other stuff.
Good job. So we're going to be putting a few strawberries in there because Houston loves strawberries.
Yes.
And who doesn't like to walk out their patio door right out here and snack on some strawberries?
Yeah.
Then we'll also be like basically the same thing as the other one. We're going to do a lot of leafy greens. So we've got bok choy, pak choy. Then we've got some endive right here. There's a little layer. of sorrel. That's what Houston was trying to tell you guys tastes like fruit.
Yes.
I don't think people believe you, so let's pick a leaf out of here and you eat that. Will you really eat those leaves? Pretty good? Yep. So that is sorrel, endive, some other varieties of bok choy, Swiss chard. We've got some spinach. So we're planting this one very similar to the first one that we did, but these things would be really, really good for leafy greens. That's what we're choosing to do. Herbs, we have a few herbs. You can see they do really well in there. And then even annual flowers, if you've got, my thought was I might save a few empty spaces, plant some leafy greens in there, but then drop some just some annual flowers that you would be putting in, you know, on your patio or your flower beds or whatever it is, just to add a spice of color. Because once this thing fills in, you know, like these greens, once they get all filled in like the herbs here, you'll barely be able to see this planter. So I think it'd be really cool to have a lot of, you know, petunias or things spilling over the side, and it would kind of look like a waterfall in a vertical garden. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't think you believe me.
There we go. We're gonna get a little hole over here, right there, and we're just gonna go ahead and stick that down in there.
I'm gonna set this up here, and I'll work from the top down, okay?
Really?
Sorry, didn't mean to.
This one is coming apart, Dad. That one is.
It's all right. There's plenty in there. You can pull some others out.
This is a big one.
Alrighty, Houston. We got all the layers except for one planted. So we got lots of leafy greens. I did sneak in one pepper plant just to see how that does. Lettuce, bok choy, Swiss chard, and Houston got another layer of strawberries right there. We got a whole row of strawberries going around. But we left the second tier from the bottom empty because Mom wants more herbs, which I think is a great idea. Herbs are things you cook with, like cilantro, rosemary. They're kind of like spices that go in food.
Ew.
And obviously the cilantro is just loving this thing. So Houston, let's get the water hose, water this thing in really well. Better not spray me, boy. I'm trusting you. Now I know some of you guys have probably spied my little hydroponic setup. And no, I have not posted a video about this yet, but I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek. I'm just doing some experimenting just to see what all we can grow hydroponically on our patio. And take a look at this. How about those roots? So look forward to that in a future video. This is just a little experiment on the patio versus what we have going on in the greenhouse. Because one of the things that so many people comment on and they say is, you know, you have a huge greenhouse, a high tunnel to grow all this stuff in. Hey buddy, that's probably enough water. You can shut it off. They say you have a huge greenhouse to grow all this stuff in. We don't have a place for a greenhouse. We don't have a room for a greenhouse. We don't have the ability to do that. And that's why I try to do other things like this little hydroponic setup and this green stalk garden tower, just to do a few experiments, show you guys how much food you can grow just on your patio. Our water's draining down. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera or not, but it's running out of the water tray through the soil, and then it just works its way down to each layer.
I don't see it.
It's not dripping down here just yet. It takes it a little while to work its way to the bottom. So we've got both of our green stalk garden planters set up, and I can't wait to see how much these things fill up and how much they grow. We're going to be able to grow a lot of food right here on the patio. If you're interested in purchasing one of these, you can go to greenstalkgarden.com, and if you use code ARMS, A-R-M-S, you'll save $10 on your order if you order one of these. They've got a lot of different configurations. They've got all kinds of different accessories to go with them. Bella does not come. Bella is not included.
She just stuck her
So like I said, go to greenstalkgarden.com. I'll leave a link in the description box. You can check them out. You can go to their YouTube channel, Facebook page, all that stuff. Check them out. Like I said, kind of a neat way of growing vegetables, just something different that you can do on your patio. grow vegetables, herbs, flowers, whatever you're interested in. It's kind of a neat concept, so we're gonna test it out this spring and see how they do. You gonna end this video for us?
Yeah. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next video. Peace.
That's all you're gonna say?
Wait, I forgot to subscribe. Ring the notification bell. If you want to buy one of these things, go to greenstalkgarden.com. If you want to save some money for shipping, you can save $10 if you use code ARMS.
Good job. Good job. You're getting better at this, buddy. All right, why don't you wrap this video up for us?
So guys,
Oh,
so if you haven't
I got too far ahead of you, didn't I?
So if you haven't already, go down there, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and like this video. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace. Look at this one, guys. Look at that. Right there. That's a big one. Hey, look at that leaf growing.